So I had a dream that there was this tree, and it was a very old, ancient tree, but it was still young in its time, and like the tree's lifespan, but old to us in our human lives. And so it wasn't a very great, big, tall tree, but it wasn't so small either. And for the size that it was, it created a lot more shade than one would expect. And it gave this abundance of nutrients through fruit, different fruits, and whatever one needed in the moment, what nutrients one needed in a moment, the tree would give it. It was the only tree around, but we saw it as two trees, two locations, but it was still the same tree. It was like we couldn't see it in its purity or something. And people would come from all over and get nutrients from this tree, but they would come and they would go up to it and pick the fruit that they needed, and they would look down and walk away from it really fast. And it was like these people were bashful and super worried about others thinking low of them, because there would be these people from time to time that would just linger around the tree and keep taking and taking and taking more than what they needed, and they weren't sharing it. But the tree still gave to them. The tree would give to anyone and everyone who was there to pick from it. But most of the people, they didn't want to be put into this category of lingering around the tree too long, because they didn't want others to think that they were, taking more than they needed. Me and you, Dan, we went to the tree, and we drove there in our Honda Fit, and we got our fruit, and I was just so kind of confused of why these people were so abashed and just walked away. And I didn't really ask questions or do anything different than what the majority of people were doing while we were picking our fruit. But when we got in the car and we were driving away, it dawned on me that I needed to go back immediately. And it just didn't make sense that this beautiful tree was creating all of this shade, more than one would expect, and people weren't sitting in the shade and enjoying it and picking from the tree as they needed, because they were just so afraid of what others would think. And I knew that we needed to turn around, and I needed to linger around the tree, but not to take more than I needed, but to show people that we need to come together and enjoy the shade and enjoy each other and pick from the tree as we need it.